the courtyard, the rooster crows with a quiet caution. There have been feral cats about. The animal is dumb, but even in its pea-sized brain, there is an instinct of death avoidance that has carried the rooster's bloodline since prehistory. His beady eyes scan the courtyard. They scan the trees. They scan the towering blocks of cement in which its masters live. The rooster crows again, slightly louder, and then it retreats back into the chicken coop. It's safe there. It's warm. There's company. Two man-made structures are visible from any point of Gorod Willow. The first, the walls. A fortification of wood that towers over the tallest of the ancient panel houses, a persistent reminder of the danger beyond and safety within. The second structure is the jagged metal receipt for that illusion of safety, the laboratory. The kid had lived all of his few years in the shadow of the smoke clouds that the building exhales all day and night. It is up on that hill that all the important decisions are made. It is because of a smart man, a very smart man, that lives upon that hill that the kid, and everyone the kid knows, have been able to live lives free of the threats that exist in the wilderness. The professor was kind and just and worked in mysterious ways. He instructed the men on how to build the walls, and he made sure the old homes of cement would never collapse, and it was through his interventions that famines were avoided. The professor kept the people alive and free. All he required was an offering. Walking down the road towards the laboratory, the kid meets a group of men in helmets. Some are armed with makeshift weapons of gunpowder. Some are armed with sticks. Some are armed with nothing at all. They all walk in unison towards the wall. Most of the men avert their eyes as they pass the boy, but one guard raises his visor and waves their child. He has a kind face. "Good luck out there, kid."
"Thank you, sir."
The steps which the boy takes in front of the guard are brave. He feels brave. He feels like a young pioneer setting off on an adventure. He feels just like the man who drew his name from a hat said he should feel. Proud. The boy is proud to venture beyond the walls and bring honor to the clan of Professor Willow. The kid's enthusiasm lasts for only a couple steps. The moment the kind-faced guard is out of sight, the boy's chest starts to ache once again. He coughs. He coughs, hoping the guard will turn around and smile at him again, but a kind-faced man is too far off to hear him. The boy reminds himself that he might see the guard on his way out of the settlement. The thought is not a pleasant one. By the time the kid reaches the fields, they are already full of workers. With iron tools, the men strike the ground to prepare it for seed. It's spring. It's time for new beginnings. The kid knows he will never see the seeds blossom. All the boy will ever see is dug-up mud. The sun is warm and his coat is thick, but he still shivers. The only place he could ever be warm again is beneath his covers, back in that bedroom that once used to be his home. Another cough works its way up his throat.
"It's just the fear,"
he assures himself. Traveling up the road, following behind the boy, is a man in an ox-drawn cart. The boy hears the squeak of the wheels and stomps of the hooves, yet he pays no mind to them. His attention is solely focused on a monument of metal sitting atop the hill. The ox-drawn cart moves slightly faster than the walk of the child. "Wishing you a pleasant morning, young man."
"Thank you, sir."
The ox that draws the cart is big and white and powerful. Even though it walks through mud, its hide is immaculate. Its horns are sharpened, its walk is sure. The cart that the majestic creature draws is in much worse shape. The wheels show signs of poor repair, and the wood of the cart seems to have come from a shipwreck. At the reins sits an old man with ribs like fish bones and unkempt matted hair. Would you happen to be going to the laboratory, young man?
Yes, sir.
Fine morning for it as any other, I reckon. Would the young man like a ride on this oxen cart? The old man grins a scurvy smile. The skin is pulled tight across his hawkish face, and his eyes are milky. The old man makes the boy's stomach grow uneasy, yet his voice is friendly. The old man taps the wooden board next to him. Don't you be scared. You got dealt a bad hand, kid. Just want to help is all. You'll do a lot of walking from this day on. Save your strength where you can. It is not the old man that convinces the kid. It is the ox. The animal's eyes are big and blue and full with the sort of wild innocence unattainable to man. The boy decides that an animal so tranquil couldn't serve a cruel master. The kid climbs on top of the cart, and with a click of the tongue, the old man commands the ox to move. The boy places his backpack on his lap, mainly because he doesn't want the potato his stepmother gave him to get squashed, but partially because he is scared of someone leaping out of the back of the cart and slitting his throat. There are no murderers, just hay. The boy still stays vigilant nonetheless. Ain't no bad luck like the luck of the draw. You're the only one they picked?
No, sir. There's also the butcher's boy.
Well, then you won't be alone. In the beginning, at least. You won't be alone. You know this boy?
No, sir.
You'll get to know him. The wilderness brings two together like nothing else. You'll be friends. I'm sure of it. I guarantee it. The hill with the laboratory grows, larger and more unavoidable. The shiver in the boy's chest spreads towards his fingers. To keep his hands warm, the boy shoves them in his bag and grips the hot potato in the dish rag. The old man's nose twitches. Just remember that the beasts out there are no different than barnyard animals. In their essence, at least. Yes, wild and poisonous and dangerous and mean, but these beasts, these hybrids, they are still inferior to us. They are still animals. In spirits, at least, they are still animals. With a strong grip, you can make them bow. They have no pride or morality or love. They are wild animals. They are wild animals that belong under the dominion of man. As long as you remember that, you'll live. The clothes hang off his bones as if they were set out to dry. His speech carries within it the unavoidable stench of rotten gums. The old cart driver is in no position to speak about the superiority of man, yet he does. The boy does not listen. His imagination propels him into the evening. He imagines how cold it will be once the sun is set. He imagines the pale shining moon, and the fire, and the howls, and the whispers, and the claws, and the teeth. The kid coughs again. He coughs hard. That don't sound good. That don't sound good at all. Now what do we have that could help? The frail cart driver drops the reins and searches the straw behind him as the ox keeps on walking. The boy's too short to see, but he can hear. Vials and keys and locks, all hidden in straw. The old man searches and grumbles to himself, and then, with a victorious yelp, he emerges with a goatskin flask. Drink. Not too much, not too little. The boy attempts to decline, but his words turn into more coughs. His lungs shiver so much he starts to dry heave. Wanting to keep his breakfast inside, the boy reaches for the flask, unscrews it, and takes 2 big gulps. The drink burns. It's hot and bitter and sharp, and it hurts. When the burning trail settles in the boy's core, his stomach calms, as do his lungs. They are closer to the hill than before, but the laboratory seems as if it had shrunk.
Thank you, sir.
Happy to help, happy to help. You don't show Professor Willow you have any fear. He likes the fearless ones. Thinks they can win. Gives them a better start. The old man smiles at the boy and reaches for the flask, and just as he is about to deposit it back into the straw, a thought seizes him. The old man's nose twitches. Again. He smells the flask. His eyes drift down to the kid's backpack. You got any food there? The kid doesn't look the man in the eyes. He looks at his ribs. I've been traveling a long time, friend. The world out there is not kind. Ain't a lot to eat out there either. I've been traveling with this here ox, and he's done right by me. He's never complained, and he's always pulled his share. An ox won't go hungry, though. There's always grass. Grass everywhere. All an ox gotta do is walk. A man must earn his keep. I'm too old to hunt and too old to steal, and soon I'll be too old to live. I will not starve before that animal, though. Out of his tattered sleeves drops a compact blade. As aged as the old man's digits are, he handles the knife with the precision of a surgeon. The edge is sharp and shines in the rising sun like a trick of the light. When the day comes and my strength starts to wane, he will go down before me. He has meat. He is mine. It is his duty to serve, yet. The blade collapses and is pulled back into the ether of the old man's rags. The old man looks away from the child and watches his marching mammoth companion. It is not his time yet. He will go before me, but it is not yet his time. Please, boy, tell me, do you have any spare food for an old man? The boy considers how the ox would look dead. He doesn't like it. He also doesn't like giving away his food to strangers, but the image of those dumb blue eyes closing eternally is much more discomforting. He reaches into the backpack and produces the dish rag potato. Thank you, friend. Much obliged. If the ox could, he would thank you too. The kid watches the animal's white back sway from side to side as the old man eats. The thoughts of the steadily growing hill and the impending climb up to the laboratory start to bite at the boy's numbed mind, but he does his best to focus on the ox.
What's his name?
Whose name?
The ox.
He is a lone animal in an old man's service. Why would he need a name?
What do you call him?
Ox.
He's too big to not have a name.
The old man laughs. The boy's brow furrows. No, that's not what he wanted to say. There's another reason why the ox needs a name. A cosmic reason that is obvious but impossible to put into words. Well, seeing as you saved his life by postponing his cooking, how about you name him?
I would like that, sir.
Well,
let me think.
The ride passed another field, but the boy doesn't say a word. He keeps on looking out towards the walls, hoping that some sort of inspiration will strike him. But it doesn't. He cannot just say any name. No, the majestic creature that drags the cart does not deserve any simple name. It deserves something special, something right. The boy wrestles with the question until he cannot. Well, can't take you any further. He'll too steep from here.
The ox still doesn't have a name.
Well, you got one?
I don't, sir.
Well, there's always next time. If our paths ever cross, and I'm still breathing, and the ox is still pulling me, you'll give him a name. And I'll call him that name till the end of his days. The kid looks towards the laboratory, its eternal machinery burning as it always has and always will. The smoke drifts off beyond the walls into the wilderness. The boy's eyes well up at the thought of never seeing the ox again. The boy coughs, and the old cart driver considers the child's appearance. He's pale and scrawny and scared and frail. With a cock of the eyebrow and a flick of the wrist, the old man produces the compact blade once more. He presses his wrinkly thumb against the metal until a bubble of crimson gathers at its tip. He reaches out for the boy's cheeks and reddens them. There. You look healthier now. Professor Willow likes them healthy. He likes them if they look like winners.
Thank you, sir.
You think of a name now. And next time we meet, you tell me. Maybe you're right. Maybe this ox does deserve a name. You think on it, friend.
I will, sir.
And that wraps up this chapter of Hybrid Master. Don't miss the next one. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop hybrid in the comments to help this story ride the algorithmic waves. If you want instant access to all chapters, swing by patreon.com/MikeJLanger or become a channel member. You'll get early access to all episodes and your name in the credits. Huge thanks to the patrons for keeping the series alive. Bob Konderg, Sr. Iptid, Christopher Brunda, Daniel Wengel, Dante Kincaid, Mr. Creepypasta, Quiet Pills, and Koos. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you in the next one.